Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Rogers, the muscle mechanic, and I'm going to show you how to effectively stretch your external hip rotators and a little bit of your glute muscles. If you've already gone through my series on myofascial release, you should have learned how to release that area with a lacrosse ball. So this would be the next step in stretching the area that is often tight for most people who either run or sit in their desk all day. So check it out. If you haven't done it before, you'll know right away if you need this stretch. So the most basic way to do it, and a lot of you have probably already seen this method, is to lie on your back and to cross one ankle over the opposite knee, keeping your back flat on the floor. You reach through, pull that other leg in towards your chest until you can get that maximal stretch through that hip. Okay, this is pretty foolproof, so I have absolutely no issue with this particular stretch, except it does miss a little bit of the glute medius muscle, which can often be very tight on people as well. So you'll feel a lot of the smaller muscle groups like the piriformis, and you'll know if you can't even pull your leg in, and this might be enough, just lifting your leg up. If you need a towel, use a towel to pull in your leg. But this might feel like an effective enough stretch for one area, but I would like you to try to twist to one side. So once you've gotten that stretch, extend that leg that was holding that working leg up, and just pull with your other arm towards the ground. And that should move the stretch up a little bit towards that glute medius, the higher portion of your glute, and that can be a really gratifying stretch. I find that this is foolproof, but it's also kind of a lot of work because you're still holding on to things. So for me, the more passive and natural way is more from the yoga disciplines. So I call, this is a pigeon pose, some call it sleeping swan. You're going to come up into a high plank position and pull that leg underneath you. So now you've got your knee lined up with your hip, but your foot is kind of going past your body a little bit. You're going to have to moderate how much you can handle through your knee. So if you start this way and it doesn't feel like a stretch, open the knee up more. Now just be careful. You should not feel any pain, any discomfort whatsoever in that knee. If you do, back off of it, okay? And then you settle the back leg to the floor, and you can just fold forward here. And that sort of is someplace in between those two stretches I did on my back. You'll feel through here, and you can also change positions here to get a little bit more in that glute medius. So this is one of those positions that you can play around with. Everybody's different. You might feel better stretch if your butt hits the ground. You might feel more comfortable up here in the air, bent forward, leaning to one side or the other. But you'll find if you have any tightness here, most people have a need for a stretch somewhere in there, that you'll navigate it and find something that works for you. And just make sure you hold it long enough that you feel the release. Whenever you start a stretch, it should feel pleasant and it should not feel like pain. And you should hold it until it sometimes starts to feel like you want to take it further. So okay, got through that first layer. Now I can move around, get into the second layer. Maybe you're arching your back a little bit to get deeper into the hip. You'll figure it out, but just make sure you're holding it long enough to feel like you've gotten some headway. And that is how you can stretch your hips. So is this, by the way. So if all else fails, sit cross-legged, lean forward, and you still have a stretch. Okay? Thanks for joining me. You've just stretched your hips.